Dear learners, welcome back to your educational channel Learn and Educate, where we were studying a few basics of the goods and service tax. Continuing that, section 2, clause 38, debit note. Debit note means a document issued by a registered person under subsection 3 of section 34 under Central Goods and Service Tax Act 2017, where as per section 34 subsection 3, where a tax invoice has been issued for the supply of goods, of any goods or services or both, and the taxable value which has been charged or the tax charged in that invoice is found to be less than the tax value, is found to be less than the tax value which has to be charged or the tax payable in respect of such supply has been less in that is issued invoice, then of relating to that supply, then the registered person who has supplied such goods or services or both shall issue the to the recipient a debit note which contains a particulars as may be prescribed. Any registered person who has issued a debit note in relation to any supply of goods or services or both shall declare the details of such debit note in the return for the month during which such debit note has been issued, and the tax liability shall be adjusted in that manner which has been described. Where a tax invoice has been issued for supply of any goods or services or both, and where the taxable value in the invoice charged is less than the taxable value actually for which the goods or services or supplies made, when the tax invoice shows less amount in actual but in reality it is higher than the amount written in the invoice, a debit notice is a document issued by the supplier where there is a need of an increase in taxable value or there is an increase in the GST charge in invoice. The tax liability of the supplier will increase as and when the debit note is issued. The buyer of the goods issues a debit note to the seller in the case of return of the goods received due to quality issues or any other issues. A debit note contains the reason for the return of the goods. When the seller of the goods issues that relating to increase in the value of the tax charged. Debit note shall include a supplementary invoice when a registered person who issues a debit note in relation to supply of goods or service or both shall declare the details of such debit note in the return for the month during which such debit note has been issued.